Hey guys, Creaty here. If you follow the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade like I do, you would know that this year will mark the 100th Macy's Parade. And because this is a big year for the Macy's Parade, I thought it would be a good idea to start making a series of videos counting down to the 100th parade. And this is the first video in the series. Of course, I'm gonna make a video talking about possibilities for new balloons in the 2026 parade. I'm also gonna make a video talking about my wish list of guest stars that I would like to see in the 2026 parade. But in today's video, I'm gonna focus on the returning balloons. I will be making predictions and guesses for which balloons I think will return to the 100th parade. And keep in mind that this is not the official 2026 returning balloon lineup, because I would never spread misinformation. This is just a series of predictions and guesses. In my personal opinion, of course, this video will mainly focus on the giant balloons, like Mario and SpongeBob and Snoopy, the ones that everyone knows, but I'm also going to talk about the feature balloons, which include Gold Bear and Dora and Derpy Tiger. I'll include those too. With that being said, here are my predictions for the 2026 Macy's Parade returning balloon lineup.
Man, I spent hours of my life stomping Koopas.
So I'm gonna go in the order of when the balloons appeared in last year's parade, which means the first balloon I'm gonna talk about is, of course, Mario. I mean, Mario's gotta come back. He was a new balloon in last year's parade, and he was so popular in his first year, especially because we waited so long for Mario to finally get his first balloon. And because Mario was so popular, you gotta bring him back. He's the king of video game characters. He's the most recognizable video game character of all time. And plus, Mario always has big things coming up. Whether it be a new video game, a new movie like the Mario Galaxy movie, which as of when this is being recorded, is coming out in just a couple weeks. And a lot of other big Mario projects. So Mario's gotta come back. We've waited so long for him to finally get in the parade, and now that he's finally in it, everyone wants him to stay for as long as possible. So let's hope that Mario can stick around for a long time.
Can you say delicioso? Say delicioso!
Next is the first feature balloon that I'm gonna talk about, which is Dora the Explorer. And I can't really see Dora staying. Dora joined the parade in 2024 to promote the Dora reboot, which, and I kid you not, was cancelled just a couple weeks before the 2025 parade even happened. So she was basically in the parade to promote a show that was already cancelled. So because of this, Dora's definitely done after the 2025 parade. I can't really see her coming back.
This looks neat. I wonder...
Next is the oldest active giant balloon that is currently still being used in the parade today, which is of course SpongeBob SquarePants and Gary. I have a feeling that we're gonna get a new SpongeBob balloon this year. So because of this, I don't think that this balloon is gonna stay in 2026. Another reason why I can't see this SpongeBob balloon returning in 2026 is because it's getting very old now. It's been in use since 2019, which makes it the oldest active giant balloon out of all the balloons that are currently still being used in the parade as of 2025. I really want a new SpongeBob balloon to happen. I actually thought we were gonna get it in 2024 at first, but then they brought the 2019 SpongeBob back, and then I thought, okay, maybe we'll get a new SpongeBob in 2025, but then they brought the same SpongeBob balloon back. So I think this has to be the year where SpongeBob finally gets a new balloon, and I really hope so. I really want a new SpongeBob balloon to happen. I especially want him to be joined by Patrick this time. So, in conclusion, I can't picture the 2019 SpongeBob balloon returning, mainly because I really want to see a new SpongeBob balloon.
Oi, oi, oi! It is an acid puddle! Zooey mama!
Next is Greg Heffley from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And I think Greg has a very likely chance of coming back again this year. Disney Plus movie Greg has been in the parade since 2022, and for the past 3 years, he was actually the first giant balloon to be confirmed for the next Macy's parade. However, that's not the case this year, interestingly, but I have a feeling that Greg will definitely come back in this year's parade. Greg's always in the parade to promote the next Wimpy Kid book. In this case, it would be the upcoming 21st book, which is called Fight or Flight. Also, the book series' 20th anniversary is coming up next year in 2027, so Greg will have to stick around to promote that as well. Though, I have a feeling that 2027 might be Greg's last appearance in this design, since the Wimpy Kid balloons always make a total of 6 appearances, and this it would be the balloon's 5th appearance if he were to come back this year. Which, I think he will. On a side note, I really hope Macy's changes Greg's background music. I really hope they change it to the theme of the 2021 Disney Plus Wimpy Kid movie. You know, the original theme song from the Disney Plus Wimpy Kid movies that's continually used throughout all of the Disney Plus original animated Wimpy Kid movies. The one that goes like, honestly, I think that is a much better background music choice for Greg. Next is one of the most popular balloons in the Macy's Parade community, which is, of course, Spider-Man. And I think there's a very good chance that Spider-Man will return this year. Of course, he's got Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out in the summer of this year, along with the most anticipated movie of this year, which is, of course, Avengers Doomsday. And while we don't know if Spider-Man will be in Avengers Doomsday or not, one thing that we do know is that if he was in this year's parade, he would definitely promote it because it's coming out this Christmas. Plus, you've got to have some classic characters in the 100th parade, and Spider-Man has remained one of the most popular Macy's Parade characters of all time since his first appearance back in 1987. Plus, the current Spider-Man balloon has been in use since 2024, and balloons usually have a 3-year tenure in the parade unless they stay for even longer, which would make this year the 3rd year for this balloon. I think it's very likely that Spider-Man will return in this year's Macy's Parade. And if he doesn't return in this year's Macy's Parade, hopefully he'll return in Avengers Doomsday.
Then I go.
Now, if you're in the Macy's Parade community and you know me, you would know that I love Stuart the Minion. He's my favorite Macy's Parade balloon of all time. Ever since the day he was announced, I've always loved him. With that being said, I really hate to say this, but I don't think Stuart has a high chance of coming back to this year's Macy's Parade. The main reason why I think Stuart will retire after last year's parade is because I think they're gonna make a new Despicable Me balloon to replace him. And they have a lot of different options for a new Despicable Me balloon. They could make a second Stuart balloon. They could also make a Bob balloon. They could make a balloon of Stuart and Bob with Kevin. They could make an Otto balloon. Or they could make a balloon of the 3 new Minion protagonists of the new movie Minions and Monsters, Henry, James, and Ed, which to me seems like the most likely scenario. Or they could even make a Gru balloon, though that seems highly unlikely. I think the most likely choice would have to be Henry, James, and Ed from Minions and Monsters. I'll get more into this in my new balloon possibilities video, but seeing as when Stewart made his first appearance in 2022, he promoted the digital release of Minions: The Rise of Gru, I could see Macy's doing the same thing again, with Henry, James, and Ed promoting the digital release of Minions and Monsters. But again, I'll talk about this more in my new balloon possibilities video, which is probably going to come out in July. So, in conclusion, even though I love Stewart, I don't think he'll come back in this year's Macy's Parade, but it's okay.
Oops, looks like Cakey got fakey.
I'm a bit concerned about how Gabby from Gabby's Dollhouse will do in next year's parade, because when she appeared in the 2025 parade, they never raised her up, not even in areas where it was safe for her to be raised up. They just kept her low to the ground the whole time, and it wasn't even that windy. Despite this, I think Gabby could come back to the parade. Now, the reason why I'm saying could is because DreamWorks usually doesn't keep their balloons for over 3 or sometimes 2 parades. Like, when Po from Kung Fu Panda made his second appearance in 2024, they retired him after that, even though it was his second appearance. Most balloons usually retire after 3 appearances, but Po was retired after his second for some reason, which seemed kind of strange, and I hope it doesn't happen to Gabby again, because I really like this balloon. It's very cute. Additionally, Gabby's Dollhouse is still one of the most popular TV shows of this decade with preschoolers. There are still lots of little girls that love this show, and they would love to see Gabby appear in this parade again. A lot of people think Gabby will be done for good after this year's parade, if she comes back to this year's parade. Though, because the show's still popular to this day with little girls, I think they'll find a way to keep Gabby in the parade somehow. Like, I can see them making a Gabby's Dollhouse float, kind of like the Sesame Street float. That would actually be really nice. Like, I've never watched Gabby's Dollhouse, but I still think that sounds like a fun idea. And I can also see them making a second Gabby balloon. Like, that could also seem like a very likely possibility, but I'm talking about 2026, not 2027 and onward. And for 2026, I think Gabby has a good chance of coming back, and I really hope that she does come back. And hopefully, she'll fly high this time.
My friends depend on me, Smokey B.
I never thought that the 2019 Smokey Bear feature balloon would ever make it this far, but here we are in 2026. Now, in the past, from 2022 up until 2025, I've always thought, I can't see Smokey Bear appearing this year, but they always bring him back, and I say, okay, I don't think he'll come back next year, and then they bring him back again. But for this year's parade, since Smokey Bear has had a long history with the parade throughout the late 60s and throughout the 70s, and of course now with the feature balloon that's been used since 2019, I think that the Smokey Bear feature balloon will come back this year, though I think this year could be Smokey's last. There are a few reasons why I can see him retiring after 2026. One of those being the balloon's getting old. It's been in use since 2019, and it's aging a lot. Another reason is he doesn't really have anything major to promote, and he's basically just in the parade for nostalgia purposes. If he were to appear in this year's parade, it would make sense, because he's a classic character, he's been in the parade for a long time, like, it would just make a lot of sense. Though after that, I can't really see him staying or sticking around, especially because he's aging. So I can see him staying for this year's parade, but I can't see him staying after that. Here's a very unpopular opinion. I think Beagle Scout Snoopy will come back in 2026. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are disagreeing with me because everyone thinks that Snoopy's gonna get a new balloon, but not me. The main reason why I think Beagle Scout Snoopy will come back in 2026 is because the balloon's never flown high, ever. So I think Macy's is trying to give Beagle Scout Snoopy one last chance to finally fly high if the weather cooperates. And while he has flown high at Balloon Fest, we've never seen him fly high in the parade. So I really hope that if Beagle Scout Snoopy were to come back this year, he would finally be given the chance to fly high, as long as the weather's good. Almost the entire community thinks that Beagle Scout Snoopy's gonna retire after this year's parade in favor of a big new Snoopy balloon for the 100th parade, but in my personal opinion, I disagree. I know Macy's really wants this balloon to fly high, so I am hoping that Beagle Scout Snoopy makes one last appearance this year, and if he does come back, I really hope that he finally gets a chance to fly high in the parade.
Oh, here comes Pac-Man.
Because Pac-Man made his first appearance in last year's parade, I can definitely see him coming back again this year. Just like Mario, Pac-Man was very popular in his first year of being a balloon at the parade, which means he'll definitely stick around for some more years. However, I don't see Pac-Man making as many appearances as Mario. I think he'll make 3 appearances, retiring after 2027, but then I can see him being brought back in 2030, which is the year of his 50th anniversary. But at the end of the day, that's just a guess. Pac-Man definitely can't be a one-timer because of how popular he was in his first year. So I definitely cannot see him making only 1 appearance in the parade. He's got to stick around for a lot longer. So Pac-Man's got to come back for this year's parade.
All fired up! All fired up! All fired up!
I think Marshall from Paw Patrol will definitely appear in this year's Macy's parade. And I would not be surprised at all if he did come back this year, because Nickelodeon loves milking Paw Patrol to death. I mean, there's gonna be a 3rd Paw Patrol movie coming out soon. I don't know if it's this year or next year. I really don't know because I don't pay attention to Paw Patrol. But if there's a new Paw Patrol movie, you know Marshall's gonna be in the parade to promote it. Though I have a feeling that this year might be Marshall's last appearance in the parade, and this year could also be the last year for Paw Patrol in general, unless Nickelodeon decides to milk it some more. But in conclusion, I think Marshall's definitely going to be in the 2026 parade, and I would not be surprised if he stays for 2026, and I wouldn't be surprised if he stayed after that either.
I am Mrs. Nesbit!
I think Buzz Lightyear will definitely come back to the parade in 2026. His second balloon is still relatively new to the parade. Its first appearance was last year, so you know he's gonna stay for a couple more years. As someone who grew up watching the Toy Story movies, I would really like to see Buzz back in the parade. I enjoyed seeing him in the 2025 parade. I love his design of his second balloon. He looks incredible. I would just love to see Buzz appear again in this design, which is why I definitely think that he will stick around for some more. Because if Toy Story 5 does really well, I think there's gonna be some new shorts. For example, after Toy Story 3 came out, they did a couple shorts like Partysaurus Rex and Small Fry, and then after Toy Story 4 did really well, they did the Forky Asks a Question series. So I can see Buzz sticking around to promote those if they happen.
Kakarot, hop on Fortnite!
Goku is another balloon that I can definitely see coming back this year. I heard there's gonna be a lot of upcoming Dragon Ball projects in the fall of this year, like a new series called Dragon Ball Super Beerus, which was announced back in January, and it's going to premiere in the fall of this year. There's also another anime called Dragon Ball Super Galactic Patrol, and a new video game called Age 1000, which is going to come out in 2027. Plus, there's also going to be a whole bunch of new stuff coming to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero as well, so Goku's going to stick around to promote those too. And if Goku comes back, which I hope he will, hopefully he is being flown aerodynamically correct this time, because if you remember the 2025 parade, Goku looked like he was skydiving. So hopefully he will fly normally this year. I really hope so. Because Goku looked ridiculous last year, so hopefully they get the aerodynamic positioning right this year.
Hey, look, apples!
Next is another one of my favorite balloons, Luffy from One Piece. Sorry to all my One Piece fans watching this video, but I can't see Luffy appearing in this year's parade. I don't know why, he just seems like one of those balloons that would only make 3 appearances and never come back in the parade again. Even though he is super popular, I can see him ending up like Thomas the Tank Engine and Olaf. At least he managed to fly high last year, even without his yellow sash. I think Luffy will be retired to make way for more new balloons in the 2026 parade. And there's a very good chance that if he doesn't come back, Naruto could be a likely replacement. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens to Luffy.
Oh, hello there!
Shrek's Onion Carriage is definitely coming back to the 2026 parade. Just like Mario, Pac-Man, and Buzz Lightyear, Shrek's Onion Carriage was a new balloon that made its first appearance in the 2025 parade, so it's still relatively new to the parade, which means it has a very likely chance of coming back this year. This balloon was of course added in 2025 to promote Shrek 5, which is going to come out in 2027. And I have a weird feeling that this balloon might potentially be the second balloon in the parade. This is just a guess. I think that Shrek's Onion Carriage might be the second balloon in the parade. I don't know why, but I can definitely see this happening. I don't know why, but something tells me that Shrek's going to be the second balloon. I was originally predicting that they would be the first balloon this year, but I decided to change my mind. I think they would make a lot more sense to be the second balloon, unless Macy's wants to do a big, grand celebration of NBC's 100th anniversary portion of the parade, which Shrek could be a part of because he's owned by NBC Universal, though I don't think he's going to be the first balloon. I think the first balloon's either going to be Minnie Mouse again or a new balloon. As for this balloon, I think they'll be second in the lineup. I don't know why, I just have a feeling that they'll be the second balloon. I can also see this balloon going next to the Green Giant float. That would be a good pairing. And of course, they're going to retire after 2027 because most NBC Universal balloons can't make it past their third appearance.
The red one is more gooder to me because it tastes like berries.
We already know that Haribo Gold Bear is coming back to this year's Macy's parade. They already confirmed it on their Instagram. A couple days after the parade happens, Haribo always already announces that they're coming back to the parade next year. We saw that in December of 2025 and December of 2024 as well. And I could actually see Goldbear sticking around for a while. I can see him appearing at least 4 more times after 2026. Also, for some reason, a lot of people are talking about the possibility of Winnie the Pooh joining the parade. We don't need Winnie the Pooh in the parade, because we already have a Winnie the Pooh balloon! And this is the Winnie the Pooh balloon that everyone's talking about. I don't know why everyone thinks that Winnie the Pooh should get a new balloon. He's been in the parade for 2 years, and this year's gonna be his 3rd year. So I don't know what everyone's talking about. We don't need Winnie the Pooh. We got Goldbear, and that's all we need.
The fans.
Next is a character that is definitely gonna be a one-timer after last year's parade, and that is Derpy Tiger from K-Pop Demon Hunters. This balloon is definitely gonna be a one-timer because it was only in the parade as a prop for the K-Pop Demon Hunters special performance, which I am planning on talking about in a future video in this series. By the way, I should also mention that K-Pop Demon Hunters' sequel film isn't supposed to come out until 2029, and I think that film will be promoted with a big, roomy, giant balloon instead. Honestly, Derpy would have looked better as a self-propelled float.
Hey guys, it's me, Bluey, from the show Bluey!
I think Bluey is definitely sticking around for a while. She's one of the most popular Macy's parade balloons of all time. I mean, how could you not love Bluey? She's awesome. She always puts a smile on my face whenever I'm feeling down. Of course, the Bluey movie is gonna come out in 2027, so of course she's gotta stay in the parade to promote that. On a similar note, since the Bluey unit always keeps expanding every year, I think we're definitely gonna see something new accompany the Bluey balloon this year. Personally, I would absolutely love to see Bluey's parents, Chili and Bandit, in the parade. Like, they've gotta be in the parade at some point. And to complete the family, I would also love to see Bingo come back to the parade, leading Bluey. Maybe they could bring back the Granny's car with her and Muffin. I would love to see that again. I always love seeing Bluey in the parade, and I will be so happy if she comes back this year, which I bet she will, and I hope she sticks around for a long time. I can see this balloon making about 6 to 8 appearances, and then I think she's gonna get a second balloon where hopefully she'll be joined by Bingo this time. I love Bluey so much, and I never want her to retire from the parade. I want her to stay in it forever.
Good Lord, what is happening in there? Aurora Borealis?
I don't know how long Nora's gonna last in the parade. I definitely think she'll be back again this year, but I don't know how long she'll last after that, if she does come back. Nora was supposed to make her first appearance in the 2024 parade. However, she couldn't make it because of the balloon being too heavy, and she was also at the front of 81st Street for some reason. Then, she returned in 2025 without the elf that was carrying all that weight, and while I can definitely see her coming back once again this year, I don't know whether she'll last a long time or not. Because if you remember the original Elf on the Shelf balloon from 2012, it made 9 appearances. It lasted a long time, like a very long time. So I don't know if Nora is gonna last as long as the elf or not. Maybe she could, maybe she won't. I don't know for sure. We'll just have to wait and see how she does this year. And if she does really well, she could stay for a couple more years, but if not, this could be Nora's last appearance. If she comes back, of course. On a side note, I also really hope Nora's background music gets changed. I hope they change it to an instrumental version of Nora's song This Christmas Wish from her 2023 special, Nora, Santa's Magical Arctic Fox, because that song goes unironically hard. Like I'm being dead serious. Like, that song actually slaps, and it makes more sense for that to be Nora's background music rather than generic Christmas music.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's Clefairy!
I think Pikachu and Eevee will definitely be back in this year's parade. I can see them making 2 or 3 more appearances in the parade, with this year being one of them. Though this year, I really want to see Pikachu and Eevee in the first half of the parade. I really hope that they're going to be on 77th Street this year. I mean, it would be a really nice change to have Pikachu and Eevee in the first half of the parade. Pikachu hasn't been in the first half since 2020, and he hasn't been in the first half in an in-person parade since 2019. It would also be Eevee's first time in the first half, which, speaking of, I really hope that Eevee doesn't get ignored this year. I really hope Eevee doesn't get ignored or feel left out. I hope people cheer for her. I hope she gets just as much cheers as Pikachu, because I've seen a lot of videos of this Balloon the Parade, and everyone's always saying, Pikachu, Pikachu. It's never Eevee, Eevee. Everyone's always cheering for Pikachu, while Eevee's always feeling left out. I hope Eevee finally gets some attention. I hope Eevee finally gets some love. That's what I hope most of all. Hashtag justice for Eevee. I think this balloon's gonna be in the parade again, and I hope they're gonna be in the first half. I was waiting for this one. I'm not a fan of the Pillsbury Doughboy. I've never been a fan of him, and I honestly don't know why he's still in the parade to this day. This balloon is the definition of a wasted slot. Because, let's be honest, do kids actually know who the Pillsbury Doughboy is? The Macy's Parade is supposed to be full of fun characters that kids know and love, and the Doughboy's not one of them. He's just a corporate mascot that kids don't even know. It just feels like a huge wasted opportunity to have the Doughboy, a corporate mascot, wasting a slot in the giant balloon lineup. He could be removed from the parade entirely, and the balloon lineup would still stay the same without him. And it's been like this for a long time, because he's been in every parade since 2009. Even when I was a kid, I never liked the Doughboy. The thing is, when spectators see the same units over and over and over again, they instantly get tired of seeing them. But it doesn't end there. There's lots of other problems with this balloon. One of those being, his design is now outdated. Lately, the Doughboy has been wearing a blue neckerchief in recent Pillsbury commercials. I knew he would come back last year, and when he was announced that he would come back last year, I thought, wait, his design's still outdated, but since he wears a blue neckerchief now, they're probably just gonna paint his white neckerchief blue, so the design's up to date with the rebrand. But nope, they didn't do that, they just kept it white. Also, remember when we saw Gold Bear? He's a feature balloon, and he makes sense as a feature balloon, cause he may also be a corporate character, but he's also not wasting a slot, because if he was a giant balloon, he would definitely be wasting a slot in the balloon lineup. But he's a feature balloon, so that's good. Why can't Pillsbury do the same with the Doughboy? Like, it just makes too much sense to make the Doughboy a feature balloon instead of a giant one. I think 2025 could be his last appearance, unless they could make him a feature balloon to go with the Pillsbury float, which would hopefully come with an up-to-date design with the blue neckerchief. But I'm leaning more towards the retirement option, unless Pillsbury wants to keep him in the parade. I don't know, I'm just really stuck on this one, because I really think the Doughboy is definitely going to retire soon because he absolutely overstayed his welcome. But on the other hand, I feel like Pillsbury's going to want to keep him in the parade somehow. And I really don't know. I just really think the Doughboy is going to retire. Like, I thought he was going to retire for good, like, after 2019. But I don't know why. I just think the Doughboy might be done soon. Especially because Ronald McDonald and the Sinclair Oil Dinosaur, who were also wasted slots in the giant balloon lineup, were retired after the 2024 parade, which made me think, okay, so the Doughboy's got to be next, right? And I really hope that's the case. Hopefully, if the Doughboy retires or becomes a feature balloon, either one works. That will hopefully open more space, so there will be more characters that kids want to see in the parade.
I guess I'll just have to throw myself my own birthday party.
And from there, we end this video on a positive note with Minnie Mouse, who I can definitely see coming back to this year's parade. If Minnie comes back to the parade, I can see this being her last appearance, because balloons that lead the parade in their first appearance usually make 3 appearances in total. We saw that with Thomas the Tank Engine, Scrat, Charlie Brown, Olaf, and Snoopy and Woodstock, the 2013 one. I can see Minnie ending up with those characters. I don't know why, but I just have a feeling she'll probably be a 3-timer. I can also see her leading this year's parade again, or being last again. I don't know. I could just see her in either one of those positions again, because, I don't know, I have a weird feeling she's going to lead again, but at the same time, I have a feeling she'll be last again to promote the Macy's X Disney merchandise collection for the holidays. I really don't know. Or she could finally be with the Disney Cruise Line float, which seems very unlikely. While I don't know where she's gonna be in the lineup if she comes back, one thing that I know for sure is that I'd like to see Minnie Mouse appear again for what will probably be her last appearance in the parade. Well, that concludes my predictions video. If you have your own predictions, feel free to comment them below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I hope you guys are enjoying this new series of videos that I will be making throughout this year to count down to the 100th parade. This is the first video in the series of many more to come, and I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. See you in the next episode.